Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Advanced Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars, Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Small on top right side as the Green Hawke, we got SylerSK. Small on bottom left side as the allegedly GreyfieldGuy. We have, or Gage, we have a GreyfieldGuy. I got that name mixed up. Either way, when it comes to COs, Gage has been buffed from the cartridge counterpart. Standard boarding cost, 2 radius, 30, 60, 60, all that standard there. Has standard plus 10, and oh, looks like it got a little bit of rework last time I checked. All units with the plus 10, actually plus 10 plus 20 defense, so that's a bit of difference. I think all ground units had additional defense. Now it's a bit more or less, rather than 4 lines, now there's 3 lines. Indirect units get a plus 20% offense, and the CO unit himself will get plus 20% offense. So in total, the CO unit will get at least plus 30, plus 20, and if it's direct, it can be up to plus 50, plus 20, which is quite significant. Bit of a mixed bag, mostly meant for defense for ground units, so indirect units get more effectiveness. Also, he's technically the naval specialist, but also a lot of the COs have a bit of naval aspects to them. When it comes to the superpower, it does also provide plus 2 max range. Hawke is, of course, a custom CO in Days of Ruin. 59 boarding cost, 2 radius, has 30, 70, 120, 120 maximum range energy. It provides a nice simple plus 20% offense, plus 10% defense, and of course has a black wave effect there, plus 1 health, minus 1 health for the power. And for superpower, only for 100 energy, get plus 2, minus 2, so your leftover energy is carried over, so keep an eye on trying to maximize energy before pulling out power or superpower, so you can just keep the ball rolling. Either way, let's go ahead and get started. Of course, this map is quite large. Fog of War, 3 bases, 1 airports, 3 seaports, which even if 3 seaports, at most you ever sees a lander. When it comes to exiting out onto land, there's a lot of shore tiles there, so there's quite a bit of traversing there, even though it doesn't look like it. Additionally, upon every exit, there's at least 1 forest there, so everything gets slowed down. Wheeled vehicles, of course, do not have increased road movement speed like in previous Advanced Wars. They have planes movement speed and relative when it comes to shores. And looks like Hawke is skipping the central base. This is sort of interesting. So he's rushing to the center. So one of these guys probably gonna head to the center next, I'm guessing. He's pushing this guy forward. He's going straight for the comm tower. He is going to the base now. So he is doing multiple capture skips for infantry unit to rush the comm tower, looks like. And that's quite bold. Let's see how well this plays out. I'm assuming he's not trying to rush on the seaport. He ends his turn on top of the city. He could capture that, but I have a feeling he's going to go straight for the comm tower. Right now, Hawke does have 7,000 income versus 6,000 income, so he has a slight advantage. If he ends his turn next to the comm tower, this infantry unit could spot it if it goes straight for the comm tower. He does actually fully capture that property. Not sure. Never really thought about rushing towards the city like that. I'm not sure how well it goes. Guess we'll find out soon enough. It's just quite interesting. Not sure what to make of at the moment. I see potential. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but definitely unusual to say the least. And no bikes being put on field just yet. He does get next to the comm tower, knows it's neutral at the moment. If his opponent starts capturing it from the next turn, he immediately starts gunning it down. Of course, with our caster, we know he cannot start capturing the next turn. Actually, no, he can with this infantry unit there. And so he could easily get the first strike. Nope, he went over there, so he's not revealed. So Hawke could start capturing it, but he can easily be interrupted. After all, it'll take 1 to spot, 1 to shoot. And there's more than 2 infantry units nearby. All depends who moves front first. But there's actually 3 infantry units can make its way to the comm tower. Now, not necessarily for me. I'm a spectator, so I always like seeing interesting tank people on the field. He may try to seal it on the HQ. Anti-air infantry. Do got a T-copter as well as a rig to pull on the field, help rig the game. But double transport, that's interesting. I understand T-copter, there's cities in the corner. Does get trapped, interrupts the capture, and does interrupt the capture even further. So yeah, if he would have skipped that city and go straight for the contact, he would have captured it. Not saying he could hold it, he had nothing nearby, so yeah, I don't know. And the tank does end its turn on top of the HQ, so he's going to probably see over there. He has 15,000 funds, so he can pull out a medium tank this turn. He'll go for double tank and base skip. Sax unit there, which does put him down 1 damage. Anti-air artillery infantry. This may be a CO'd artillery, could be a CO'd tank there. Might as well plus 1% firepower on all CO units. No CO unit on any of those units. Artillery, tank, and infantry again. So Hawke on for double anti-air. And does seal the tank on top of the HQ. Hawke right now has 19,000 income versus Gage's 15. It goes for infantry, battle copter. Try and flip that property and immediately realize, hey, wait a second, that is not friendly. 6 HP, easy to interrupt. This tank here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, is in range as 8 health infantry unit, and I feel like a sneeze is coming. Anti-air, base skip. Ugh. My allergies been kicking in. I feel like I need to sneeze every other minute. Good shot there. This 4 infantry unit there can fall back to this, yep, does fall back to forest. Tank, and flare. 84,000 78. 1 infantry unit does get spotted. Double task the infantry unit there. Has 2 infantry units in reserve. 1 infantry unit can head down south into the forest to shoot the 8 health infantry there. A lot of traps there. Looks like Gage is getting stuck quite a bit. And we got a temporary seaport being started. There's probably just meant to just be ready for the mech. Medium tank and artillery. Got another city up there. Takes the 1 health infantry unit there, no problem. Got a lot of targets in front of Hawke's command tank, so probably pick off 2, maybe 3 infantry units in this region. There's out that one. Artillery heading to the center. Command tank heads out south. I thought he would have gone over here to get that energy, but decides not to. So it would be perhaps a little exposed and doesn't see too much over there. Tank infantry. It does go for a T-copter. Good hits there, good interruption. Drops off there, can start picking up the other one. Good picks down south, 27 versus 28 military units. Tank. 23,000 encumber versus 24. Special damage takes out the infantry unit there. Gets off that unit there, gets trapped. Using AT to finish off the infantry unit there. Very nice. Gets good hits there. Finish off that infantry unit as well. This infantry is in the seal, could be hit by a unit in the seal zone, but it's not spotted at the moment. Got the decopter with infantry unit there, 8-tier battlecopter and tank. He drops the capture down south. The barge has nothing down here. Needs to send some units down south. We have a couple of Gage 8-tiers in the back line. We also haven't seen a seal unit by Gage whatsoever. I'm sort of surprised by that. Either a regular tank would be fine. Anti-tier will strike Anti-tier, then we know that's not going to be great with all the nearby units. Anti-tier gets struck there again. Now both these Anti-tiers are exposed to the various tanks. We could see a black wave this turn, but he's going to need to use that tank there to hit the Anti-tiers, so probably will not see a black wave next turn. Instantly picked off that unit there. Almost sacks his Anti-tier there. Takes up both Anti-tiers. Artillery in position. Good hits there, up to 60 energy, 70 energy. Black Wave is available and does get his +2 seal zone at that. Battlecopter, artillery, infantry. He's going to see one of these tanks back here. I think he should. Deployed out something. Oh, what? Battleship? Is he going to seal a battleship? Problem with sealing a battleship is you won't need a gunboat to spot the bases in order to get the melee range of the base. I don't know what this battleship is supposed to really accomplish. And he triple base skipped, had enough for 1 infantry at least. But in order for this battleship's going to, I don't know if he's going to try sealing it or what, but still, you will need a gunboat to get next and spot the bases, because you can't see, battleship can't see on top of a base. I have no idea what this is supposed to accomplish, honestly. Good hits down south, no black wave. Lots of Initiative has a black storm available. Remember as well, you can get up to 120 energy, so it's a good idea to get some power charge before popping it. Or not if you can or can't is another matter. It's one of the things you should just try. Of course, if you want some global firepower bonuses, you could simply just pop a black storm instead. Or black wave rather than black storm in order to keep the multiple global effects. Cruiser, yeah, it's something for the battleship. Cruisers do have good spotting and of course protection from aircraft, but that's expensive. He does not see anything just yet. After all, battleship is 25,000, so he's going to have to spend 1,000 or 12,500 sealing it. Cruiser is expensive. I said gunboat because it's 10,000 cheaper, but still, I have no idea. What? Why a fighter? Duster fits all your needs to deal with battlecopters. Dusters are far more economical. Takes out infantry there with the battleship. Sure. It did its job. The problem is, that's 25,000 fund unit taking out 1,500 and has pretty much no other targets available. There's a medium tank there. It takes out the transport copter with the infantry in there. I wasn't paying attention if he trapped it or something, because I'm probably still a little bit stupefied about other things. Right now, Gage is a lot less in the field than Hawke. Hawke looks like he did lose his command tank. Bit of a loss there. But even though he's ahead by 50,000, I would say he's about... Fighter and battleship is so expensive. He just take out another Takes out one battle copter. At least it's out of. It's in range of anti-air. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He'll be a 6 health anti-air in range, but it's not great. But it does CO infantry unit there. That's currently at 5 health. Battleship could hit the tank there if it had vision of it. Great shot there from the anti-air. Battlecopter tank take infantry. Takes out that, wait. When did he build that battleship? I was not paying attention to that. I was not paying attention to that, but apparently he built a battleship last turn. Why? Alright, gets a good shot there in the battlecopter. Goes for a lander. A lander's not necessarily half bad idea. It helps push yourself forward, but the problem is there's so much high expensive assets in the field that are not really useful at the moment. Good shots there. The anti-air needs to be knocked out. The 2 health anti-air does pose a threat to the 5 health fighter. T-copter heading down south to the cities. Tank, infantry, battlecopter. Well, at least they'll be about as good as the Advanced Wars 2 battleships under CO power. True. Actually, the battleship in, of course, these run actually has 1 less range, but of course able to fire and shoot while moving, which is very nice. But the problem is they just don't have much coverage due to the lack of sea. And they also are cheaper than the Advanced Wars, than any other battleship. Good shot there. Apparently did not get a good hit there in the flare, but still, it's generally not worth it. Medium tank anti-air seals the wounded tank there, which can easily be picked off. That was expensive. A really expensive command upgrade. He's probably going to seal the flare. Or the medium tank? Yeah, I'm sort of having trouble comprehending this game right now. Hawke is playing quite well, a bit more standardly. Gage is not playing standardly, to say the least. Seals the battleship, so there goes half his day-to-day funds. Mech gets redeployed over there. Nothing to spawn in that city there. Push forwards the anti-air and the medium tank. T-copter, infantry, mech, and tank. A little bit of pick there. Flare falls on back, is down to 0 ammo. Hawke has a number of wound forces, so he's able to pop a black wave or black storm. Gets a decent amount of health regen. Does drop for a mech on top of the city, so will be spotted. Probably be shot up by the anti-air or by the tank, which will allow him to be exposed to the battleship. Does get trapped there, does spot the anti-air with that, thanks to. And we've got artillery, anti-air, tank. T-copter could drop off to the temporary or the full seaport. Mecha still alive and a lot of targets in range both the artillery and the battleship, so got some good engagements down here. Hawke has a nice push here, a good armor push, though the medium tank is in range of the artillery, who is down to one last ammo, so he needs to get that rig up here, but that's going to be not really possible. It's always a good sign to see when your units are running out of ammo. It means it's done good work. Artillery strikes the medium tank, knocks out the medium tank. Gets a good shot there in the anti-air. A lot of targets in front of Hawke now. Artillery anti-air, and does go for a full bomber. Expensive, goes for anti-air along with it. Gets good shots there. Is it the medium tank? Regular tank gets hit. Artillery gets hit. Regular tank gets nailed. Anti-air gets struck by a tank. Artillery gets struck by a tank. And that unit gets struck by a tank. The battleship up north is still sealed inside of the reef. Hawke right now is 25,000 versus 27,000 income. We do still have despicable neutral city in the center. And Hawke coming down the southern cities. Tank infantry. Armor takes out the tank there. Flare does fall back. I thought the flare may have been able to take out that one unit. Fighter, infantry. There's a good number of battle class field, but Duster's just straight up a bit more economical. ATR is in range of the bomber and does pop the black wave, takes the bomber there. Here, tank. Tank does fall back to the HQ. Blows out Duster this time as well. Hawke has been getting good number of battle copters, but Duster's just far more economical. They're what, 13,000 versus 18,000? Hawke's main thing is before, takes out that one there and there. Right now there's 140,000 versus soon to be 200,000. And I mentioned about 50,000 locked away in battleships. Medium tank infantry. Medium tank's probably maybe a little bit too slow since he's now all the way across this other side of the map. Does pick off infantry there with the battleship. Good strike from the battlecopter, takes out that other battlecopter. ETR is in range of the fighter, however. Medium tank is nice. Hits that fighter quite nicely. As was the Duster. Of the 53 energy, so Black Wave can now be summoned. That stuff is in range of the artillery, but of course no vision there to spot. Does pop black right at the end of the turn. Medium tank ain't here. He's at 1 tree there. Does 30 energy, so it's +1 CO radius. Missile. Mech. Takes out the battlecopter with one fighter. Takes out Duster there and fighter there. Tries to bike there twice. The entry unit there can spot for the battleship. Rocket squad by Hawke. Battlecopter does strike the medium tank, and things well right now the medium tank's gonna have trouble leaving this area. It's at that 1 health. The missile takes the battlecopter, so now he can exit the region. It's the one catch the counter. Battleship strikes another target at 40 energy. Medium tank's out of range of artillery, but still battlecopters there. Goes for anti-tank down south, takes some one medium tanks there, the other medium tank takes a beating. Mech goes down as well. At 57 energy right now, not for power, but he has used his turn. And it looks like Gage has designed this Android saying, "Keep watching," and on to the next replay.